live from Port Studios at the Stay Busy with the boy, Armon Sadler. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the music business and the music culture. I am your host, head honcho Armon Sadler, vegan chorizo poppy, Peloton poppy, Santa Claus, which is Santa Claus like the guy who delivers gifts, but also Claus spelled like White Claws, because you know what I'm gonna be on over this break. A lot of rest, relaxation, and hydration. You feel me? How you feeling, co-host out there on the West Coast?
Man, you know I'm back in my element, man. Everything is synergized again. You know what I'm saying? My molecules is feeling right again. Everything is good. Got some in and out in my system last night.
I peeped. That's just very unfortunate. Damn.
What you mean? This is it. Okay, listen, for all y'all East Coast folk listening to this is what we're gonna say. At the end of the day, In and Out is just a burger, y'all. And I would say it's not even the best burger out here, but it is just a burger. So stop slandering it. Like, lower your expectations. How good can a burger get? No. That's not gourmet. No, that's not gourmet. How good can a burger get? You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta accept it for what it is. Talking about the fries is trash. That's what potatoes taste like when they're just dropped into the fryer. They're not battered with all this carbon, thiacinamide, and this and that, and poly this, and no. That's what fries actually taste when they get cut and dropped right into the fryer, y'all. So stop hating.
All right.
I mean, the In and Out is just one of many places out here that is solid, but it just reminds me of being home. So I grew up on it. But
definitely glad you made it over there safely with all this wildness happening in the world. This Omarion variant is running up. I'm terrified of getting near a plane, having to sit and even within a row of somebody. Like that's just terrifying. So,
I had the whole row. Listen,
good.
It was fire. I was on a huge plane. Like it had to be like, I don't even know if they make 787s, but it was big, man, big old plane. But yeah, it was packed in there. There was hundreds and hundreds of people in the plane. But somehow I got that road to myself, man. That was clutch.
There we go. Definitely want to encourage y'all to be safe, get tested. You know, you can be asymptomatic, so just make sure that if you are spending time with your families, that you are looking out for them, because it's real. You know, like I said last week, someone said, "Oh, COVID's getting real again." I was like, it never stopped being real. It's only gotten more lethal. So we need to do our part to flatten the curve so we can be outside once again when it is warm. But of course, we want to shout out our listeners, those who are new, those who are tapping back in for season 3, our final episode of 2021. Whether you like crack of dawn flights or afternoon flights, Miguel's War and Leisure or Jeremiah's late nights, Nike checks or Adidas stripes, Pop-Tarts or Little Bites.
Little Bites is the Little Debbie's.
Yeah, the little muffins.
I don't know if I ever had those. My mom did not play that. But anyway, crack of dawn flights or afternoon. Definitely crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Length also of the flight really matters there.
True.
But length of flight, I think is fine for crack of dawn, because I'm just like, you know, if it's a long flight, just send me out early in the morning. I'm gonna be asleep anyways. Then War and Leisure or late nights, definitely War and Leisure for me. What else is on late nights? It's planes. It's
you ain't wrong with that joint.
Nah, it's a joint, but it's not enough to be the dethrone War and Leisure.
Okay.
Nike checks or these checks, bro. Come on.
Checks over stripes.
Right. Just also too, because like I've never worn Adidas shoes that made my feet feel comfortable. Well,
Mm.
my ex-girlfriend got me one pair of Adidas shoes, and those were actually comfortable, or maybe I made them comfortable in my mind because she wanted them. But
It came with a little bit of love.
right, exactly. So I was like, let me go ahead and try to make these things. Pop Tarts or Little Bites? Pop Tarts all day. Cause you can pop. You know, would y'all eat Pop Tarts cold? And
Yo,
and stuff.
Freeze them, put them in a toaster, or just eat them by themselves. Pop Tarts versatile.
Freeze them. I've never heard of the freezing of Pop Tarts.
Pop Tarts are versatile, my brother. There's a lot you can do with Pop Tart.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know the next time I have a Pop Tart, but
right.
I'll do my best to try to freeze it and see what that's on. Yeah, that's for me. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'm definitely an early flight guy. The earlier the better. I like to get to my destination and have time to do stuff. Like I don't want to get there, go to a hotel, go right to sleep. Like I want to at least be able to do something, even if it's just grabbing a meal, walking around, grabbing a drink somewhere. So crack a dawn flights for sure. Definitely Miguel's War and Leisure. I'm definitely a big Jeremiah fan, but War and Leisure just that, like, 2017 was a really great year for music. I don't think people really acknowledge how great of a year that was for music. And War and Leisure was a standout project from that year for me. So especially among R&B, you got Division's Morning After, Daniel Caesar's Freudian, Brent Faiyaz dropped a project that year. Khalid dropped his debut project. Like, there was a lot that year, but War and Leisure was definitely a standout. I am definitely a Nike guy as well. However, being an alpha made you fall in love with those the sweatpants that we used to always wear to the parties and stroll in, the Adidas sweatpants. It just kind of came with being an alpha. And yeah, but Nike wins. And I think for me, love the Little Bites muffins, man. They got this like confetti cupcake flavor that is just crazy. They got like a pumpkin muffin flavor. Like they got some heat. It's kind of annoying though. I feel like as we've gotten older, and maybe they're doing this for like health reasons, they used to have like 5 to 6 muffins in the bag. Now you get 4 little muffins in that bag. This is like, yo, you cheating. It's kind of like chips, how chips, like half of the bag is air now. Like they don't really be filling up the chip bags no more. It's like, yo, I feel like I'm not getting my money's worth. So I don't eat them often, but when I do, I'll be locked in on some Little Bites for sure.
I'm about to say, you probably should just make some little bites at home.
That's facts.
Even better, man.
That's facts. That's facts.
I don't know what randomly made me think of this, but I saw it on TikTok the other day when we were talking about War and Leisure or Jeremiah, and this is another artist. Did you know that Slow Motion by Trey Songz, Charlie Puth wrote that song?
I just saw that tweet today. I was like, wow.
Bruh,
that's
crazy. Played the demo of him singing the demo. And I'm just like, dang, the more you know.
Charlie Puth is a legend. Charlie Puth probably doesn't get his flowers enough.
He's outside.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, we got to shout out our VP of everything, the man you cannot see, but you can feel, Kieran Hurley. Thank you for everything that you do, my brother. Happy holidays to you. Hope you can link and drink with the family. With the family, be safe. The boy was by Footprints the other day. They got him a little to-go rum punch. I was hating. I was definitely hating.
I'm ready to take care of the bashment in the summer, man. Get him out on some wine. You know what I'm saying? Oh, good for him.
I don't know if Kieran ready for that. Well, we'll see though.
No, he's ready. He's ready. We'll get him a fit for that. He ready though.
There you go.
Kieran, you ready, brother?
Of course, we got to shout out our distribution platform, Anchor. If you do not know, Anchor will distribute your podcast for free to all streaming platforms, and you get some sponsored ads. Regardless of your listenership, let us jump into this chat. Some unfortunate news to begin the week. We learned that rapper Drakeo The Ruler, Drakeo. Okay, I was always confused by the pronunciation. He was stabbed and killed at Once Upon a Time in LA Music Festival. Man, and you don't want to diminish this one death by reflecting on all the death this year. But it's just like, yo, another one, like so close to 2021 being, about to end. Like it's honestly terrible. And I know he meant a lot to a lot of people close to me, whether they were from LA or just really resonated with his music. I know a bunch of writers over at Passion of the Weiss who like really did their best to repair his image publicly. He was from jail recording albums. He set up this whole elaborate studio, like 6 different phones, and his music was great. Like he got a Drake feature this past year, so it's like he was on the up, and there were a lot of people who felt like he was a standout artist in this current crop of West Coast artists. So definitely a very, very tough loss. Tired of the violence, tired of just mourning people and not having enough time to mourn someone else because you got to then mourn somebody else. Like it's kind of just unreal. And they talked about it in the Drink Champs interview, Big Sean and Nori. Does Big Sean feel like being a rapper is the most dangerous profession? He was like, honestly, just being a human is dangerous itself. Being a rapper, someone with a public image, with something that people want things from you, and if they feel like you're not getting them from you, then they try to take them in in some underhanded means. And it's like, so someone else tweeted, I think Freddie Gibbs tweeted, he was like, yo, like, it's crazy that especially around the holidays, someone could take your life just to try to make their family happy, like robbing you and trying to kill you. And like that's not the situation here, but I just felt like it was a relevant quote because, like, we don't know what these people's motives were, but they, this person may have well been trying to take Drakeo's life to do something for himself or his family. And it's like, whatever the circumstances are, it just sucks that it gets to that point. So I definitely want to say rest in peace to him. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to share on that.
I know some people, being him that he's from California, I know some people were connected to him. It's really unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. There's not much really to say. Is it just what it's like? It just never makes sense. It's the ending, the never-ending cycle. The unending cycle is what I'm gonna say. But I don't know, man. I think also too, I don't know. I need to go and really read the circumstances. But when I read it, just just seemed like things were. I need to have some conversation with some people who probably know what was up. But it sounds like part of it sounded like it was some politics. Part of it sounded like it was just somebody trying to test him. But like you said, when you have a platform, like it's just people. In a way, it puts target on you, and that's why I don't fault. As I've gotten older and realize, I guess, I would prioritize in my life, with a platform or doing things. I prioritize privacy and peace as much as I could. We've never seen J. Cole's kid, bro. We don't know what the kids look like. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's good. Like, there's certain things that we just don't need to know, that the general public don't need to know, because it actually is a security threat. Like, it's a security threat in all the way, in the simplest terms. And so it's just so unfortunate. But man, here we are yet again.
Yes, sir. To move into some interesting conversations that arose this week. There was a Twitter Spaces held by Genius Rob Markman, our former employee of the month. Shout out to Rob Markman. They brought in Alicia Keys, who's been really I really like her rollout for this Project Keys. Like, she went on Drink Champs. She's been just out more, showing her personality more. And then they held the Twitter Spaces this past week, where she was just talking about the album, how she completed her major label contract like after 20 years, so she's fully independent now. Like, so yeah, just a lot of interesting things arose from this conversation. But they also brought in Hove. Jay-Z pulled up into the Twitter Spaces, and I just think it's so cool. Like, Hove doesn't do many interviews. Hove is not public at all. Like, we know Hove's life, but Hove don't really be promoting and stuff like that. So just for him, who barely be tweeting, to be in a Twitter Spaces, it's cool. It's cool. And obviously people are going to take that time to ask him all the burning questions that they speculate on when he's not present to ask. So Verzuz came up, and Hove, very confidently, very almost dismissively said, yo, there's no one who could stand on that stage with me. Like, if you got to stand there and hear that Grammy family freestyle, like, what are you going to answer with? And naturally, this spawned so many conversations, as Verzuz does. It's funny. I was going through some of my old tweets last summer 2020. I tweeted, Verzuz has been so great for the culture, but it's created so many nasty conversations. And then this week, my boy Matt Ritchie, he was like, yo, I hate how Verzuz has made us talk about our favorite artists, because it's not about bodies of work anymore. It's about, like, this person's 20 versus this person's 20. Like, who has more hits? Put them on the stage. And it's like, they might not even be a matchup that makes sense.
Right.
So Jay-Z saying this naturally got the Jay-Z stands to be like, duh, of course, he's the GOAT, blah, blah, blah. And then the people, there's also a lot of regional bias with this conversation, I've realized. There's a lot of people from the South who are like, who Jay-Z isn't as important to them. Like they acknowledge him for what he's done,
Sure.
but they hold other people in that esteem. Like I saw people bringing up Gucci. I was like, I love Gucci.
Never.
And then there's no disrespect to Gucci because Gucci cooked
Ever.
Jeezy. He cooked Jeezy. Like, so there's no disrespect to him, but like Jay-Z, Gucci, no. Ross said he could go up against Hove. The matchup makes sense in terms of style, but Ross, nah, man, nah, Ross.
Shout out Seven really quick. Seven, I'm gonna clip this out and send it to you. But what do you think, Armon? Seven said that he's like Outkast could beat Jay-Z in a versus. He said, but we don't want to talk about that yet. He said, I'm gonna let y'all go.
I don't know.
Now,
I don't know about that.
Now, you know what's funny? Off first instinct, I'm like, now Seven. Now, sir. Off first instinct.
Right.
But then when I think about it, I'm like, let me see and let me explore and see if that is has any merit to it, right?
Right.
And I think that this goes part to what you're saying of like people in just different regions don't put Jay-Z in this, you know, they don't.
Yeah.
Their favorite rappers, he's not coming up.
Yeah.
And so when I think about it, it's like almost two different styles, if you will. I don't even think that it wouldn't even play to. It's like two people being on stage arguing different points. I think.
Yeah.
Like y'all not even talking about the same thing. Like it's both good, but I don't think y'all talking about the same thing. Yeah. And so you know, we got like International Players Anthem, Hey Y'all, The Way You Move, So Fresh, So Clean.
It would be so different. It
would be so different.
Hove would come with like a. Trying to think of a whole record. He would come with like a Takeover, and the Outkast come with Hey Y'all. Like that's just no. It wouldn't make sense.
Ball, Bombs of Dag, Rosa Parks. Roses. Yeah, Spotty. Yeah, this. I feel like it's just too different.
Yeah.
But that's what we think, Seven. So,
and you know, some people brought up Future. Now, here's the thing. I wanted to broaden this to a larger conversation because we've talked about the R&B unicorns within Verzuz. We've said Usher, Mary J, Mariah, Beyonce. I think that's about it for our R&B unicorns that we mentioned. For rap, though, we never really talked about the rap ones, and I would put Hove up in that elite. Yeah. I don't think he's unbeatable, but he would be up there. I think Wayne would give Hove a run for his money. I truly do.
Wayne is the only one where I feel like people would be like, Wayne, what you mean? And then he gets to playing them records, and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot,
bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it'll be really big so far as I think curation for Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's funny? I think Ye would have put up numbers.
Yeah. Oh no,
numbers.
Yeah, Ye is who I was gonna mention next for sure.
Yeah,
like
it would have been. I think Jay-Z and Ye would have been more like, yo, dude, based off of when he did the Coliseum performance and running like, bruh, that alone, like, even that's 10 records. Kanye got 20 heaters.
He got more than 20. he got more than 20. Like that would be a really, really good battle, and it would be closer than people think. And I think Drake is a versus unicorn. Drake versus Jay would also be it wouldn't be as much of a stylistic difference as Jay-Z and Outkast, because Drake has traditional rap records. He's got the trap type stuff. But then if you get to like a Hotline Bling, a Controller like that, it would get weird with Jay. That's why Kanye is a better matchup for Drake if we're talking about this. And then I also think Future. I think people sleep on Future. Future's 20.
Okay.
Future's 20. Future's 20 is a strong 20. Like I don't think people really understand. Like my dream versus truly is Future versus Wayne, because they are so similar in their strong mixtape catalog. Oh. They're doing the rap, doing the melodic, their feature verse catalog. Like Future and Wayne could go 30 rounds, honestly. Like Future's got a very strong 20. I don't think people really understand it. Like just his 2015 records alone, like when Future really emerged as I'm Future, that run, like March Madness, thought it was a drought, where you at? Fucking Trap Niggas, Real Sisters, like that's come on.
It's a stupid run. My only thing is though, I feel like it's the sub conversation of the Outkast thing. It's like stylistically, him and Jay, it's just kind of like we're listening to two giants, but two separate giants from different places, you know, and different sonic deliveries, different approaches.
Yeah, so. I think of the people mentioned, Ye, like it probably in order, it would be Ye, Wayne, Drake to go against Hove.
Yeah.
But then like for Drake, it could be Future, it could be Wayne, it could be Kanye. Like you could mix and match these five and like make some interesting things happen.
To me, it's like I wouldn't want to see it anyways, but if it were to happen, it has to be Ye.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. So you know, I don't think it'll ever happen. You know, I think
no, it won't.
I think those other four names would be more likely to do it. But you know,
Ahmad brought up Beyonce.
Ahmad Davis brought up Beyonce. Again, really weird matchup, but Beyonce might be home. I don't know. and
I think you have to categorize it for Jay-Z. It's like, what are we doing? Are we doing arena hits, Jay? Are we doing, you know, old school joints? Like, I think that's why I feel like Kanye is the best fit for him, because he has a catalog that feels the same. There's the old school, just he's rapping over a sample beat. Then he has the arena records, and then he has, you know, the song with the, you know, the singer features and stuff like that I think are important, you know, for the culture and brought into at least the 2010s. You know, think of the moment when they both play like Watch the Throne records together. You know what I'm saying? It would just be such that would be the moment. But I think it's one of those situations where for any other artist other than Kanye, you would have to start to categorize and like compartmentalize Jay-Z's catalog. It's like, so which Jay-Z could he go against, or could they go against? And so, you know, when we talk about Beyonce, it would definitely have to be like arena music. You know? It's not any of the you know, old joints.
Yeah. But here's something people got to accept about Jay-Z too, is like, he's the GOAT. He's widely recognized as the GOAT by people. But, and J5 brought this up maybe like last year, he went on like a tweet thing because people were, Jay-Z comes up every so often, and people are just so dismissive of any critiques thrown Jay-Z's way.
Yes, of course.
He's really the GOAT because of his longevity. Like,
come on, talk about it.
There were years where he was outsold by DMX, outsold by Luda, outsold by Nelly. Like, he was never this. He wasn't doing what like Drake is doing now, where he was always the highest selling guy. Like, it's really just he lasted. Like, where other people's runs ended, Jay-Z lasted. He was able to retire. Right. He was able to retire, come back. Kingdom Come was and then he gave us American Gangster, and this is like his rapping ability is obviously top tier. He's genuinely one of the best pure rappers of all time. But Verzuz, like, I don't think he's unbeatable in a Verzuz, because like he has hits. I don't ever want to say he doesn't have hits. Like you could check the charts. Jay-Z's got hits, but he's not widely regarded as the GOAT for being a hit maker. Future, hit maker. Kanye West, hit maker. Drake, hit maker. Wayne, hit maker. And they also make really good albums. Like, Jay-Z's just made extremely great albums throughout his career. He's done it consistently. It's his business acumen. There's a lot of things that go into why he's the GOAT, but it's mainly the longevity. So people just trying to dismiss Wayne in a Verzuz, because also you got to think about it. Verzuz has evolved. It's a show now. People buy tickets and they go to watch people on stage. Everyone thought Dipset was going to beat the Lox, but the Lox won because of their performance, their showmanship. So if we're on a stage and Lil Wayne is just doing Alien Wayne stuff, Drake, you know, Kanye is going to come with lights and smoke and all that. So like, they're going to make it more of a show. So that's why I don't think Hove is unbeatable. Like, of course, there's songs like PSA and certain shit that you just hear it from Jay and you're like, oh man, like this is, you know, this is
got it. Yeah,
this is special. This is one of those ones. But it's like, when you incorporate the fact that like these people are performing their records and bringing people out to perform with them and all that. Obviously, Jay could call anybody, but Kanye, look at who he's collaborated with. He could call anybody. Drake could call anybody. Like,
Kanye also doesn't call anybody,
bro.
You hear the Kanye call, you going?
Yeah. So, you know, but when you're the GOAT, people just make it this all-encompassing thing where you're unbeatable in every arena. I don't think Hove is unbeatable in a Verzuz. Do I think he'd win most of them? Probably, but it would be closer than people think, and he could get edged out if things go one way, because it's about curation, it's about selection, timing of when certain records are played, how you respond to a certain record. Like, it's a lot of different nuances that go into it that there's no perfect Verzuz like competitor, for lack of a better word. Like, even these unicorns we've said, they could get got by another unicorn if things go a certain way. So that's my perspective on it.
It's only yay. It's only
yeah. You think so?
Yeah, it's only yay. Because what are we talking about? Go ahead.
And it's it's funny that all this spawned from a Spaces that was about Alicia Keys. She was talking about her album, and then Hove comes in and it becomes a Hove session. But Alicia provided an interesting perspective on her discography in the midst
or a marketing perspective. An interesting perspective or a marketing perspective? You tell me.
Both. So I believe she was asked to rank her albums, and this is her ranking. So the 2021, her most recent album, Keys, double album. As I Am, Here from 2016, if y'all didn't remember, because I had to look that up. The Diary of Alicia Keys, Songs in a Minor, Alicia, the album she dropped in 2020, The Element of Freedom, and Girl on Fire is last. So here's the thing. When I saw this list, I was like, okay, on the one hand, I get it. On the other hand, you tripping. As Nick said, it's marketing. She just put out this album, Keys. You're not going to put the album you just put out, an album that she's been speaking very highly of. This feels like she feels like she's realized her masterpiece. Like she's come to the full realization of all of her superpowers and put together this double album. Like when artists put out a double album, they have like this like artistic vision where it's just like, to them, there's nothing beating it. Like I'm sure Hove speaks very highly of Blueprint 2, and Drake feels like as time passes, people are going to be kinder to Scorpion. Like when an artist puts together a double album, they are motivated. So of course you're not going to put it behind it, especially because you just put it out. You want people to listen to it. So it's genius for the people who haven't heard Keys yet. They're probably going to go listen to it. And like part of me feels like she might really believe this also, again, because like
I think she does.
Well,
part of me does, but no.
Like,
go ahead.
Yeah, and again, I'm not a music artist myself, but I feel like y'all in your continual growth, your continual evolution, like especially as you get older, you feel like you've learned so much, you've been through so much, it's like artists are like comedians. You get better as you get older. You get sharper as a rapper. You get better technically as a singer. Your instrumentation gets better. You meet more producers. You can just do different things. So I feel like she genuinely believes that because she's just at this. She feels like she's at this like peak of her career. So I really feel like she believes it. But to put it above As I Am, The Diary of Alicia Keys,
Songs in A Minor,
like.
The thing is, here's
come on.
Come on. For those who know, you know. Come on. All that to say, like, the reason why I feel like it's not the case is because let's talk about where she is vocally. If you were to give the songs that she says are the best from Keys and As I Am and Songs in A Minor and all this stuff, other stuff. Well, not Songs in A Minor, because she was, I think, in her vocal highest point in Songs in A Minor and Diary and all that. There's no way that these songs are better just because I know she's not delivering vocally the same way she used to. That's been my main thing. And I think most of the community is like, she's reached auntie status.
Yep.
And people, it's like, you want to see her live out her auntie status at the highest level. And just like, you want to hear Alicia like, you want to feel that. You're like, oh yeah, like Auntie Alicia, right? And here she is like still going for it. And it's just like, when you're at the family function and your family member's a little too lit or just like just like, baby, come on, sit down somewhere. We're done. And that's what it's been giving the last little bit. I will say though, Alicia, I enjoyed Alicia.
Alicia was good. It was good.
The last project, for those who know, 2020. However, there were moments on there I'm just like, baby girl,
you don't got it no more.
It's taking. It's
you
not
don't got it. You don't got it.
Not giving a thing. And shout out to That's Pod. They made a great point. They were talking about, Alicia's out here should be working with, artists like Thundercat, Mereba, all these other artists, and she out here working with Sway Lee. And I think that's part of the legacy thing is that, someone like her who was such a steward of soul, we can't talk about. I saw another quote saying like we can't talk about R&B and like soul music of the 2000s without addressing Alicia's contribution. And I agree, right? Especially in space for setting the tone for a lot of women who have come in. I think there are a lot of women who are under Alicia's branch, right?
Mhm.
Her is being one of them. Same
Absolutely.
management, same approach, same the way they're going about it is just
Mhm.
it's Alicia. It gives Alicia, young
Yeah.
Alicia. And so all that to say is like I would also prefer to see her be a legacy act on these new people's projects. It's like, oh, you got the Alicia feature, right?
Mhm.
In a way, it's almost like diminishing what she's given us.
Mhm.
And nothing to take away from the Diary songs in A minor, which I think is still one of the most clever names ever. There's
Bruh, bruh.
and the songs are actually in A
Listen
minor.
to these records on As I Am.
Do that while I charge this thing.
Superwoman, No One, Like You'll Never See Me Again, Teenage Love Affair. Come on, man. Come
It's
on.
crazy.
Hits
It's
on
crazy.
hits on that album. Like, and that's just As I Am. If we go to the Diary of Alicia Keys, like
Come on now.
the fact that that is ranked behind the 2016 project, I couldn't tell you a single song. She got Karma on here. She got You Don't Know My Name, If I Ain't Got You, Diary. Come on, Alicia. Like
You got numbers too. Like on Spotify, if I ain't got you,
yeah.
600 mil, No One 500 mil, My Boo 400 mil, Girl on Fire, which I think she dogging that song, putting the album last, like towards the end there. 300 mil on that, Empire State of Mind. Like Alicia just really, it like I said, it's the auntie that you're just like, dang, come on, auntie.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
So
and for her, DeAndre made this point too. Is like for her to be a pianist, like, and sometimes the pitch be just so off.
Mhm.
I'm just like, wait, is nobody else hearing this? And it's like, how is this happening? How is this occurring? And I think she's at her vocal, she's past that level of, vocally. I think just physically, she's not there anymore.
And it's it makes sense. She was going hard for years, bro.
Which is real. That's real. That's
like
a real thing.
The 2000s, early 2010s, she was going. So like it makes sense for her voice to just not be where it was. But prime Alicia was just undeniable. Like she was that girl.
Undeniable.
That girl. And so it's kind of tough seeing where she is now. And she still delivered some records I really like. Like Show Me Love with Miguel is really dope. Like we said, Alicia last year. I've heard some songs on keys, and I heard a couple that I liked. Will I hear the whole thing still? I don't know, but it's not where it was, and that's okay. She's a legacy act who we will give the respect to, but it feels like a little much. It feels like she's trying to like recapture youth in a way. But like I think she put 21 Savage on the Show Me Love remix. I was like, why? Like, what? I'm a big 21 fan. Don't get me wrong, but like for her, it just feels like chasing. It feels like doing a little much.
Like she should be working with Giveon. She should be.
Yes.
She's working with Giveon. She should be with She working if we want to do newer acts. We should working. I want to see her in Snow. I want to hear I think she did a record with Cleve. That's fine, whatever, right?
But yeah, she had Snow on the last album. It was one of the best songs. You saved me.
Exactly. And so these are the people that we want to see her working because they want it lends to the style, but it's like when we get excited when we see Erica on a record. We see Jill on a record. We're like, yo, what did they do? What did they do on the record?
Yeah.
It should be giving that. And I think she's like the old auntie still trying to wear the sneakers we wearing because they're cool. But it's like, auntie, just wear what you wear. Like, be you. You know what I'm saying?
But Alicia, I always got love for you. You were one of my first crushes, so don't ever get that twisted with my critiques towards what is going on. But respectfully, you might be tripping. Anyways, let's jump into this slide deck.
The best song wasn't the single, but you weren't either.
Final slide deck of 2021. I'll kick it off. So with the by the time I hear this, the Insecure season show finale will have been done. So I have been re-binging all of Insecure leading up to the finale. The show is about to end. Some people are happy about it, some people are sad about it.
I'm happy.
It's a good time to end. They could have done better with this season. I'll say.
They have nothing else to say, and it shows.
Yeah,
It's fine, which is fine though.
Yeah. It's kind of like you're reaching a natural end. Like whereas some shows end when you feel like you get more from it. Insecure has really maxed out everything that they can do. So it's kind of like, all right, I'm just interested to see how they wrap it all up in this final episode. So I've been re-binging, and there's that one scene, that very fateful scene where Issa does a little nasty thing with Daniel, cheats on Lawrence, and this song plays. And I was like, oh, I know that song. So I was introduced to this record because I heard a version of it by Bryson Tiller and Chris Brown. But I might like this version better. So this is Keep You in Mind by Guordon Banks.
I'm about to go run that joint.
Yeah,
ooh, man. Yeah. Shout out K Roosevelt. Shout out K Roosevelt on that. That is
beautiful production. It's just like they kind of let the production breathe for a little bit, so you really like just get into it. And then he comes in with the vocals, them stacks, them harmonies. It was good stuff. Real good
let
stuff.
Let it marinate, y'all.
So I heard it and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be my slide for sure. For sure.
That's one of my favorite drum patterns too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same for those who may like a reference point is like, it was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. That's like this is more like a slowed down version of that same drum pattern.
Yeah.
Love that.
It plays into the whole recollection thing we talked about. Like even if it's not exactly the same, you hear it and you like it just off of the familiarity. And then to see how someone flips it in a different way, it's like, man, music is great. Music is great.
Music is fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So mine, y'all. So I think it's fitting, giving it this is the end of the year. When I heard this song, I was running the album just to, do my Grammy due diligence, and this song really stood out to me because every year I feel like there's maybe a few songs I feel like that just kind of ascend, and like I kind of zone out for a moment when I'm listening to the song and I'm taken somewhere else, and it's really, I think too, in my mind too, I really am missing the space of duets. Duets really used to be like a thing.
Yeah,
we get features nowadays, but it feels like the people are not connected on the story or just in separate places. It sounds like they sent the files and
mailed in. Yeah.
And I think this is a record where there's moments where I feel like, wow, they really sang this together. This is a real duet. This is off of Eric Bellinger's new album, New Light. This is Counting My Blessings by Eric Bellinger featuring Kierra Sheard, produced by Byron Thomas, Corey Henry, and Southwest.
You are now flying.
Been counting my blessings more. Found what I was searching for. Love is a patient war. Some things don't walk through the door. Gotta work for rewards, it takes time. But that time's gonna pass anyway. And if it's worth it, then it's gonna be worth the wait. True, because of you, I know the way you brought peace when I thought I lose it. My last little bit of clarity, the vision that you've given me, I know, only for my eyes to see. Need you in control. You took all of my pain, put me right on my purpose, right on my place. Took me out of my comfort, got me used to change, made it look so easy.
Humble down on my knees, grateful for the blessings received, even on the ones I can't see. Oh, I got all this favor on me. How could you ever love someone that's so incomplete? Oh, 'cause all the things you do just leave me amazed. And if I had 10,000 tongues, you'd get the praise every day. Yeah, 'cause of you, I know the way you brought peace when I thought I'd lose it. My last little bit of clarity.
They didn't even get to the highest point. Oh
That's
my
hard.
gosh. That's
That was
Eric's, to me, that's Eric's best performance on the album by far. It just, wow.
I love him. I love him in that pocket too. He
Yes,
does
taking
he
his time.
does he does the upbeat commercial party R&B, and like it's good, but this is where I want to be. Like personally, this is where I want to be, and it's like he does it well. Like he got a record with Wale, Empty Wishing Well, where it's slower. It's more ballad type. It's like, yo, Eric, you could really cook on this stuff, but
Eric be cooking on these type of records, man.
yeah.
Wow. Oh man, and they go to another part and the harmonies change. Yo, that's a record. Like if y'all enjoyed that, please go run the project and go run that record specifically. Counting My Blessings, man. Great way to end the year. Kierra Sheard, she's a
She definitely.
woo. Kierra Sheard.
So, as you all know, if you would like to access these slides, they are available on the Stay Busy Slide Deck playlist on all platforms. Hit the link tree in our IG or Twitter bio. Artists, listeners, if y'all want to start 2022 off with your own submission, you can hit us at Stay Busy Pod on IG and Twitter, or email us at staybusypod@gmail.com. Last board meeting of the year, good brother. Are you prepared?
Let's get it.
All right, so we are going to start off with our version of raps. This is Stay Busy Rap. So we're going to talk about our favorite albums of the year, sprinkle in some honorable mentions, maybe sprinkle in some favorite songs of the year as well. Not overwhelm y'all too much.
Yeah.
And if you do like these, we will have a full list prepared for you all, dropping throughout the holidays. So some digital content you can engage with, argue with us. I personally don't plan to debate with any of y'all.
I ain't no debating.
If y'all got smoke from my list, you're welcome to make your own list. Yeah, so I'll start with mine. And I've been very, very high on this album. So my number one, actually, I'll start from the bottom. My number 10, Still Over It by Summer Walker. We've talked about her so much this season already.
Yeah.
This season could probably be named Summer Walker. But for all of my concerns, all of my cautious optimism, she delivered. Over-delivered on Still Over It. I still listen to it quite frequently. Granted, it's only been out a month, but for something to be in my rotation where there's a lot of music out still, especially a lot of strong R&B this year, it's something that I listen to pretty frequently whenever I'm in the car. I'll put on Reciprocate, I'll put on Unloyal, I'll put on Screwin'. It's a really strong album. Number 9, Florin 2 by Wale. It's incredible. From the sampling to the feature selection to just where Wale is at in his career, rapping, he's rapping his ass off. He's doing the poetic stuff. He's got the fun records. He's got everything that you have expected from Wale throughout his career, and he just gets better and better. Number 8, Pump by Young Thug. We spoke on this last week, and I've spoken on it a little bit, but it's like his 2017 album, Beautiful Thugger Girls, but he's just more refined. He's stronger, a stronger feature slate. My number 7, Moon Boy by Young Blue. I know we've discussed this one. I know we've had our disagreements, but it's your list, brother. It's right. It's undeniable for me. It's great. It's honestly great. There's a lot of young artists who we get very high on, and we say, oh, that this person is going to be this, and then they don't pan out. You know, I'm being patient with Young Blue, but from what I've heard, the collaborations I've heard, the Neo joint we played last week, the Monica joint on his EP, hearing him next to John Legend, hearing him next to her, hearing him with Drake, hearing him with 2 Chainz and Chris Brown, like, you know, I think that he could do a little more in being the standout on some of these records he's on, but he holds his own. Number 6, Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler, the Creator. It kind of just goes without saying, like Tyler, this might be my favorite Tyler project. It's either this one or Flower Boy. This
one's really rap.
Yeah.
For the rap head, this was like y'all got to respect me because I rap.
Mm-hmm. And to bring the artist into his world that he did, 4-2 Doug, NBA Youngboy, Brett Faiyaz, he had a Brett Faiyaz collab. Like it's just great. It's a really, really great project top to bottom. Number 5, Culture 3 by Migos. It's Avalanche. Avalanche, Having Our Way, Straightening type shit, Malibu. It's a great album, and for Migos, with all the doubts, and I had my doubts too going into this project, they exceeded my expectations. It's in constant rotation in the gym, in the car. I find Straightening is my favorite song this year overall. Like, it's just Migos has really done their thing. Number 4, Planet Her by Doja Cat. You know, we've said it so many times. She has completely repaired her public perception by doing what she's here to do, delivering great music, visuals, performances, videos, features. She's being, you know, they're having the whole conversation about whether she's a rapper or a pop artist. She raps better than a lot of these women out here. She could sing. She's doing it all. She really delivered a great project that I am pleased every time I revisit. Obviously, she's got songs that are just going crazy. Get Into It, yeah, you hear in every commercial. And yeah, I mean, she's really just undeniable. It's either like you get with it or you just kind of just whatever. And for me, it's like I have to respect what she put out. Number 3, 30 by Adele. You know, it's just Adele's Adele. She's never disappointed me. Really incredibly strong project. My Little Love, which we waxed poetic on when the album first came out. All Night Parking interlude is incredible. To Be Loved, Woman Like Me. She's just
all of them.
And Easy on Me, of course, goes without saying. Like, Hold On, I'm hearing in commercials now too. Like, you know, Adele is gonna get them syncs, but
come on, the sing baggers.
Run
it.
It's easy for her. Number 2, Off Season by J. Cole. We talked about it with Kojo. We talked about it before on the podcast, but J. Cole just found a way to reinvent himself, redefine himself. He took on the challenge that people have been giving him for years. It's rap on other people's beats over the course of a full project. And you see, when he just focuses on rapping, he is one of the best of all time. You look at the collab with Lil Baby, you look at having Moray there, you know, the appearances by Boz and Black that you might not notice, but they're there. And then, you know, 21 Savage's verse on My Life as well. Like, Cole is great at bringing people into his world. He's great at jumping into other people's worlds, and the off season has just been a consistent listen for me. But the holy grail of this year, number 1, the project that set the tone, set the bar, and the bar had not been leaped, whatever. Like the bar has not been hit. Jasmine Sullivan, Hotels. What a project! For everyone who is critical of R&B, for everyone who feels like there is not quality R&B out there, for everyone who is looking at some of these older acts who are still putting music out and feeling like they've fallen off, Jasmine might have hit another peak in his career. We talked about it with when Alexis was here. You know, Jasmine had the bust the windows out your car days, Lions, Tigers, and Bears days, reality show. But Hotels, to me, might be her in her best form, and it just speaks to what we said about people getting better as they get older. Conceptually, it's great. Musically, it's great. It's bridging the gap between the content that these younger audiences want to hear and the musicality that these music heads and then the older R&B audience wants to hear. So Hotels for me is just an undeniable first. For my honorable mentions, some quick honorable mentions. Cheers to the Best Memories, Division and Tide, Temporary Highs in the Violet Skies, Snow Allegra, Rai Rai World, Mariah the Scientist, Life of a Don by Don Toliver, very good project. And I did put Certified Love Boy by Drake on here. As I've listened to it a little more, I'm still critical on it. I still don't fully love it. I like it. I think it could be better, but some of the stuff is sounding a little better to me. And Drake's music ages well. That's one thing that's undeniable. So maybe I'll have a different perspective on it in a few years. But that is my list and my honorable mentions. How about you, sir?
Oh man. So I did mine, and I didn't want to rank it. I just wrote down the albums, and for all transparency, I'm the slowest when it comes to doing these things. When I say something, I really want to really stand behind it. I don't want to just kind of offshoot an album or a song or anything like that. So Armon had his done for a long time. It took me a while to really piece together really what I wanted to encapsulate for the albums for the year. Right. That really made something to me. So this is in no particular order and no particular level of influence. It's just the way the document works. It numbered it. So I'm going to just kind of go down and do the same thing Armon did. So we'll start with Hotels. Hotels, yes. Yes.
Simple as that.
Hotels, yes. Did you like Hotels? Yes. Because, people, the main thing from the people, I'm more on the snob side of the R&B conversation. And the snobby snobs were saying, vocals are back and things like that. Vocals have been here, but I think those kind of vocals, we've been missing that. And for it to get the notoriety, the recognition, the introduction for a lot of people to Jasmine, what I love is that the people, the young kids who are the sophisticated young kids who want to hear more, who like this type of music, they now, if they never heard of Jasmine, have something to go back to, and the stuff they got to go back to is heat. So I love that for this project, and I've always been saying this, and I've been, it is 2021 a seat at the table that's a little more ratchet, and so I think the culture needed something like that, of that nature, from someone who's seasoned, not new, but giving us just where they are now, and just kind of it seemed, a seat at the table when it came out, it was giving, this is what I have to say, and I really don't care if this album does numbers or not. This is what I have to say, and I think Hotels kind of encapsulated that same thing. This is what I have to say right now. This is what I'm going through. And I think when artists just take that, pressure off themselves and just give what they are giving, what they're going through at the moment, it resonates. And here it is, resonating. And very few albums came close in the R&B category. Very few. When it comes to, setting the bar high. When I think Jasmine might be up to something, and I hope she recognizes, I hope the team recognizes, when we release, we're going to release at the top of the year. And that's how we're going to do it. So I hope they do that. Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler, the Creator. Man, I've been enjoying the ride of Tyler, just jumping on the journey of his career in the last, say, 4 years. I've really been enjoying it. And I mean, since Igor, I've been really hold up, Tyler, really paying attention. And this is just a fantastic album. Hot Wind Blows is my favorite song off this album with him and Wayne. From a music standpoint, there's jazz in here. There's samba, there's salsa, there's just a straight up, R&B, 90s R&B. There's the the sort of trappy-ish stuff, but it's elegant. It's elegant. It's a delivery, with the gangster grills when on Hot Wind Blows, when DJ Drama says, these trips are just too lavish to post on the gram, it's just too lavish. I love his through line with the characters and with with now the fragrance that's come out. Everything is just so connected, and that's what I love about him, is that when he goes in and he's consistent with that 2 years. So 2023, we're gonna get another one. That 2 year, boom, boom, boom. He takes the time, comes up with the character, fleshes out the character of who the character is, what the character would be doing. Really embodies the character. Will wear all what that character will wear for the next 2 years. And it's been beautiful too at the same time to see the vindication for him
Mhm.
of getting recognition from the Black outlets,
Mhm.
BT, Soul Train, all the above things that where he's always felt like I'm out of the conversation, but I
Yeah.
really support Blackness and I want to be a part of it. I'm just different. Y'all love me, let me in, and they're letting him in because it's just so good. They can't keep him out no more. Temporary Highs in the Violet Skies by Miss Snow Allegra. At first, when I listened to this project, you have Others Feels in the mind, and you're like, okay, this is a little different. This is a little more spacey. This is a little more, it's different. And I think that's what I like. It is more in the skies. It is more cloudy and airy. But there's a lot of records on here that just really focus on her voice and some minimal production just to support her voice. And that's what I really love about it. Different pockets in here. Really just it shimmers. The whole project it glistens, and that's what I love about it. Gold Digger Sound, Leon Bridges. Love this dude, love this project. Very classic sounding guy. He's the classic man when I think about his approach, his aesthetic, his sound, the way he delivers everything. Real simplistic, just good sounding music. Really check that one out. Gold Digger Sound. Love that song. Love that album. Why Don't You Touch Me is a really one that I love off that. Motorbike. Those are the hits off of that. Off-season J. Cole. Armon said what needed to be said.
Yes.
It's too easy for me now.
Yes, sir.
It's too easy for me now.
Mm-hmm.
When that first listen, I remember being in the apartment with Gregory, shout out G, and he said, "You hear it yet? You hear it yet?" And we're just standing there in the kitchen. I'm cooking us something, and just the turn into each other, nasty face, ugh, for the whole project. That's you can't create that.
Yeah.
The Outside album of the year, Made in Lagos, WizKid, and this album for me is like forget Outside, just sonically, it has everything to develop. I was talking to OU, shout out OU, who's our Nigerian brother. He was explaining how WizKid has been. He said the equivalent of the continent's Drake. The man is the guy over there, and he was saying that the thing about this album that was so amazing is that this really bridged the gap for his listener base, because the younger people can obviously get into it because it's just it's pure. He said, but the older folks, like he's saying, his parents, his generation, like, oh, who's this song? Oh, this is WizKid. Like, because they're not expecting this from him.
Yeah.
And so it's everyone getting back to their roots of pure music, great instrumentation, saxophone all over the project. It's just traditional, what you would get from Afrobeats, like a Fela Kuti, that sort of arrangement. You're getting those type of instrumentation from that. Hers on that album. Tay Wires on the album. Thames, this is where Thames made her breakthrough in the consciousness of the culture right now. And so amazing project, really, really great. Culture 3, Papa was a Rolling Stone, but now I got Rolling Stones in the bezel. Listen, as a Temptations fiend, the second when the album opened up and I heard Papa wasn't Rolling Stone sample, and the way they flipped the sample and kept it so pure, but it's so Migos, that locked me in a different type of way. I've listened to that album more than a lot, but every time I listen to the album, I started on the Avalanche. I just let it go.
Have to.
I never skip on that album. Amazing album. Culture 3, Mood Valiant, Hiatus Coyote. I haven't sat with this as much as I want to yet, but this group. Ooh, when it's all said and done, they're going to talk a lot about Hiatus Coyote as one of the groups that influenced one of these groups that were in the shadows, influencing a lot of the popular sound. Go Run, Mood Valiant by them. It's there for the music nerds, for the people who just love good vibes. All the stuff is there. Time Machine by Fouché. I don't know how I found this girl. I don't know how, but I have not left since I found her, and I run the project frequently. I run different songs, and it's just this swaggy indie R&B with this folk sort of delivery. It's very just, and it's ratchet too in parts. It's just great. I love how she's owning so many things, and she has this character to her that is just like really creative. I'm excited to see what she does in 22. And then a young brother by the name of Hush Forte, who we had on the podcast. look closely. That project, I think, is going to be one of those ones when people go back, they're going to look closely. And this brother's only going up, right? He's only going to the next level. And so it's one of those projects, I think, when you're going to sit back and say, well, this guy really, like, he's for real. Like, he got it. He got it for the rapping, from the production, from the melody choices, from the pen. People are gonna really look back and say, "Oh no, Hush Forte, y'all heard Look Closely? Go back on that. Go look closely on that." So those are my projects that I think that are the ones that I really listen to. My honorable mentions are "We Are" by John Baptiste. He's a legend. The Long and Short of It by Quickly. Y'all need to go get hip to him. Great dude, young dude. Shout out to him. Neptune by Gallant. Shout out Ish, because Ish is the one who really champions this guy more than anyone.
Yeah.
Gallant is someone who I think that it's kind of like, it's going to give like Tyler and Jasmine. I think we will have in 2025, maybe like when he releases them, we'll have a conversation, because I think it hasn't been his timing yet. You know, like, and if you know about Gallant, but it hasn't been his timing yet for him to just break through and people to just like only listen to him. But Gallant is there, man. Magic 8-Ball by Mac Ayres. Shout out to Mac Ayres. This is a great project, and he just delivers good music. You know, he doesn't do music videos, he doesn't do all this stuff. He just does. I'm gonna give you good music. And then last thing, Evening with Silk Sonic, just because I think what the album does, regardless of what you think about it, if it's caricature of all these the moment, just off musicianship alone, you have to give that album a nod. So yeah, those are mine.
For sure. Sure. All right, so let's get into some songs of the year, some standout songs of the year, and then we will get into our personal recap. So got to give some flowers to Capella Grey Gallus. I mean, it's just an undeniable outside record. Definitely one that's like special to me, because I debuted on Pitchfork and wrote about it, and just to see how much it's grown organically. Like, there's really no gimmicks to it. There's no attention grabbing. It's just resonated with the people. And it's caught the eyes of big industry giants, of course, Chris Brown, Popcaan, French Montana, a bunch of people who are remixing it. Got to give some shout out to my executive producer, co-host, Hindsight by Nick Early. Come on.
Thanks,
If we talking vocals, if we're talking musicality, that hindsight is special. It's one of them ones. We're looking forward to the project.
Yes, sir.
Love You More, Young Thug, Gunna, Nate Roos, and Jeff Basker. I've talked about this when we talked about Punk, but just an incredible song, man. And like, to say a Young Thug song is a wedding song, you can only say that in 2021. Apartment 706. Saki and my boy Eric Penn, who is sweeping the nation right now, like getting the Joe Budden mention and all these other mentions. Eric's doing his thing, so shout out to them. Love that record. And Stars Align, Majid Jordan and Drake. It's grown on me heavily. Since that product has come out. Like, I've been playing that regularly, and it's like, I liked it, but now I love it. Like, I really love that joint. So I would say those are my standouts for the year. Sunbathe, Tiny and Miguel, Poke It Out, Wale and J. Cole. But my favorite song of the year is Straighten It by Migos. It's just undeniable. Offset goes Super Saiyan. Like, it's just nothing to say about it. You just got to hear it, and then you'll get it.
Yeah. So mine, I mean, there's so many that I want to highlight. Of course, I'll do this more because I don't do it enough. I'll highlight Hindsight, y'all. I released a song this year in May. Check that out. Hindsight, Nick Early. And some joints that I think that really just sat with me and that I ran over and over and over and over. Hot Wind Blows, Tyler, the Creator. Have to mention that. Avalanche, Migos, of course. I gotta mention TSU, Drake. I don't know why, but that song, she moved out of stage. I had to. Price Tags, Jasmine Sullivan, and featuring Anderson .Paak.
Great record.
A gentleman that I grew up with, playing under at the church I used to play, J Mo. Shout out to J Mo, Jairus Mosey. He produced that track. And so that when I realized, I was listening, who's on guitar? And then when I went to and I said, I should have known better that this is J Mo. So I love that song. Price Tags to me is my favorite song on the project. And then a brother across the pond that he came on my radar this year is Kaleem Taylor. This is How Does It Feel by a group of him and The Code. Shout out The Code. They put together a group called Fake Detail, and that song is amazing. I love his delivery, love his vocals. Anuka's also on that record. I gotta shout out Stats, Honest. Can we just be honest? Love that one. Amber Mark, yo, she had a few records this year. And I'm going to tell you like this, yo. I said it here in 2021. Amber Mark is going to do damage. She's going to do damage because she has the look, she has the vocals, she has the star power, she has the youth, she has all of it. And I'm excited to see how they're doing it. And it's just taking time. They're just cooking. They're cooking. She's only have a breakout record, I think, in 2022. Next time she releases, because her album is coming. And what else? Man, those are my main joints, honestly. Unloyal. Yeah. You know, I love to hear saxophone on records that people don't listen to saxophone anymore. So I love that. Leave the door open. Yeah, those are my ones.
Yeah. That Lucky Day over.
No, I folded. Yes, Lucky Day. You Want My Love. Earth, Wind and Fire. Lucky Day. That one too. Yes, those are the joints, man. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's been a really, really great year for music, but it's also been a great year for us personally. You know, I can say for myself. I went into 2021. I didn't set any goals. I didn't. I didn't want to put any pressure on myself. Because I naturally do it anyways. It's like 2020 was obviously big for me, talking to Pusha T, the Bryson stuff, like a bunch of great things happened. And I didn't want to go into this year feeling like, how am I going to outdo 2020? Because you're always beholding yourself to a certain standard. And those moments, especially within the early pandemic part, like every win just felt that much major. Then you kind of get removed from it. And you're like, dang, like I feel like I haven't done anything in a while. Yeah. So, you know, I started off this year kind of like not really doing all that much. Like I didn't really start writing until like March. Like we were podcasting, of course, but I didn't feel that tug, that passion. And then getting that debut on Pitchfork writing about Gallus was like a moment. I was like, all right, like I can still do this. Not only am I writing, but I'm putting people on to an artist that they should be aware of. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and take any credit for it because Capella wrote, mixed, produced, all that. Like he did it. I was just one of the avenues where people were able to gain awareness from that. And it's special because, you know, there have been people who've been giving me flowers for it, going back to the tweet, like, yo, this tweet aged so well. Like, yeah, this is one of the biggest songs of summer. It's like, yeah, and like it felt good to, you know, be early on something. And because there are people who will be early on stuff and then try to keep it to themselves. They don't want to put people on, but like
they're gatekeeping.
Weird. Like my job is to expose people to music that they should hear. And so to see how much it resonates, to see it go from just being on Regina and Kojo's IG stories to the IG stories of people that we went to Cornell with, to people in California who were playing the joint. It's like, wow, like, you know, it really had that ripple effect. You know, you toss a pebble into a river and it just keeps expanding out. And like, so to be early on that, you know, that felt good. Let's see what else happened this year. I mean, obviously debuting on Billboard after chasing that for 3 years was incredible. Being able to talk to one of my favorite rappers, Maxo Cream, debuting on Consequence, writing the posthumous piece. By the time you guys hear this, my debut on Hip Hop DX should be out, and happy to announce that I'll be contributing there pretty regularly, semi-regularly. You know, after 6 years of doing this writing thing, you know, all we ever want is a consistent writing gig that we can make money from. And that's something that I'll be doing. So that's like really, really special. And, you know, like I've had so many conversations with other writers this year who have been waiting on their moment, and they've been questioning, you know, they've been concerned about the love they're getting or lack thereof and just their opportunities. And, you know, like it sounds so simple. I hate giving cliche advice, but ultimately it's just you put the work in, people notice, and the timing just has to be right for you. You know, you're always going to put bigger expectations on yourself, as you should. You should think highly of yourself. You should shoot for the moon, but like, don't be afraid to take a smaller victory en route to a bigger victory, because things aren't always going to happen on your timeline. They definitely haven't happened on my timeline. And so, you know, it feels good to kind of be a bit more active in this space. It feels good to have gotten my old Twitter back. It feels like I've
Vindication.
yeah, man. It feels like I've regained the audience that I spent years building. Like I spent years building up that original Twitter, and you know, getting to the point where I could not drop for 3 months and then drop something and people get excited for it. Like you know, I have a friend who says, you know, like anytime I drop a piece, it's kind of like a moment. It's like when an artist drops an album. Like some of these other writers, you know, they just drop singles, you know, they'll write a lot and it's dope. Like I'm not shooting down any writer who writes a lot. Like those who can make it happen consistently, I applaud you, because I used to be there. I haven't been there in a while. I don't know if I'll ever get back there, but I want every contribution that I have to the culture to be impactful. And, you know, it feels good to be making that happen. So, you know, overall 2021 was a win, man. You know, I've grown a lot. Obviously, you know, I've been able to appear on some great podcasts as well. Shout out Need to Know. Shout out to RSPN. I was just on RSPN talking basketball. Shout out to What's a Good Guy. Shout out to, damn, I'm probably gonna forget some, but shout out to everyone who's had me on their podcast. The A Show, of course, A Show RNC. Those are my brothers. That's family. So that's nothing. But yeah, I mean, it's just been great to get myself out there even more. To see this podcast grow. Of course, I feel like, you know, to start this season, this will be episode 12. Like we've been doing our thing, man. Like we don't give ourselves those flowers often. We talked about it on the anniversary episode because we're always just going. But you know, taking this little break that we're gonna take over the holidays and just being able to regroup and just look at everything. Like season 3 has been off to a very, very great start. The feedback that we've been getting, obviously, big shout out to HMD Studios. And just shout out to everyone, new listeners, returning listeners, people who have been along for the ride and seen us go from, you know, Cerebral Sound Studios, not putting out visuals at all, to having to go fully on Zoom season 2, to be back in person and bringing our guests in person. And, you know, even when we do deliver these Zoom episodes, it just feels like there's a renewed sense of like energy. Like it's kind of like we took out that battery that was 25%, had 25% left. We put one in that's like 100% and ready to go, and we're being more strategic with things, where we're being more calculated, and just we're also just getting better as podcasters. When you put the time into something, when Nick puts the time into piano and vocals and production, when I put the time into writing and editing and just speaking, like you naturally are going to get better. Like I think that's the one thing I want people to come away from this very personal speech that I'm giving, is like, you're going to be successful if you keep working hard. Like, even if it's not the things that you set out to do or the things that you wanted initially, along the way, you're going to find something. That's just how God, the universe, whatever you believe in, the law of attraction, whatever these things, like, that's just how things work. Like, you're going to happen upon something that works for you because you have brought yourself to that point. So, you know, just don't be afraid to look in the mirror and have those conversations with yourself and accept that, you know, you might not be where you want to be right now, but you're working to getting there.
Yeah.
Because you only lose when you stop. You might feel like a loser when you're not winning the way that you want to win. But if you're trying, you're doing more than a lot of other people out there. There's a lot of people who talk about what they could have been, should have been, has been, and they stop for whatever reason. You keep going. That's a life of a creator. Like, none of this stuff is lucrative from the beginning. That's something you got to accept. But when your passion drives you, you know, it's not always going to be beautiful. It's not always going to be good moments. I talked about it in the anniversary episode. I had some rough months this year, but this back half of 2021, man, I'm feeling like nobody can fuck with me for real. I'm feeling like nobody could touch me. And it's not like a thing where I'm putting people beneath me. Like, I don't compare, I don't compete no more. I just feel like I'm at that point where I have so much confidence and faith in myself, which is an amazing feeling. So I'm really looking forward to what 2022 can bring. And like, again, I thank everybody who's been along, supported the journey, critiqued me. That critique and that feedback, you know, the love is great. I'm always gonna appreciate the love, the retweets, the likes, all that. But the people who are so invested in me that they want to see me do better by telling me something I could do better, by giving that feedback, not being afraid to do so. Those are the people that push a guy from great to nobody can fuck with me. And that's how I'm feeling right now. We've got ourselves a great network of people do that. So yeah, that's 2021, man. It's been a goodie. How about you, man?
Man, oh, what I'll break it off on themes. I think for me, the theme has been one, vindication. I think in a lot of ways, right? The podcast, I don't think we've seen this level of growth so quickly, as well as seeing the feeling of, it's like when we talked about it, before, when we had people at that event at Busy Bronx, and people came through. We had artists coming from the VA, artists coming from just different places, just people saying, dang, I'm sad I missed that. It looked like it was dope. Like, we had people from the New York area, like Jersey folks pulled up, Connecticut folks pulled up, all types of folks pulled up. And it was a beautiful thing to see. And that was a moment for me that I was like, man, the podcast is something. It's like a valid platform. Like, people actually rock with it. People care. It's outside of just our friends. And having the opportunity to be in front of different people. Shout out again to our brother Brandon Espinosa at the Bronx Brewery for that. That look, man, like, my goodness. There's just it's been those moments where it's like, yeah, no, we're next. We're up. We're going. And the way we we continue behind the scenes to create, and we're locking in on that sort of stuff, getting our processes rolled out and smoothed out, and like where we want to go next, and things that are going to happen for us in the near future. Man, season 5 gonna look very different from this, and so that's what excites me. That's what excites me about the pod, And then in my music life, I've been thinking and reflecting a lot about who do I want to be as an artist, who do I want people to, when it's all said and done, say like, Nick contributed this, and Nick brought this to the culture, and I think I've been reflecting about that a lot, and I think things need to change up a little bit, and my approach needs to change up a little bit, and how I'm approaching just who I am as an artist. And I think the biggest thing that I've realized that I need to, the biggest critique of myself, is discipline. I'm a planning guy. I'm an ideas guy. I'll bring all the things, and I'll execute. I can execute, but I think that I need to bring some discipline into my execution and more consistency into that, because I have great ideas. I have all these huge, ambitious goals and whatnot. But I think that my discipline is really, that's where rubber meets the road. And that's what separates the people that are doing what you want to do and you. Literally. That's the only thing. I mean, you look at back all these people's stories. They're just like, I just kept doing it. I did it. I outlasted everyone. And I was disciplined. I did it day in, day out, when I wanted to do it, when I didn't feel like doing it. And I can see that in my life with my workout journey. I've been an athlete my whole life, and I had an injury in 2019 that, I was playing basketball. And I had a basketball injury that was pretty real injury that I, only this year really overcome. And that had to make me rethink of who am I going to be in that capacity? Because I love working out. I love being active. And I lost 20 pounds this year, 20 plus pounds this year, because it was consistent day in, day out. I didn't feel like working out. I worked out. That's the thing about working out. It's too crazy. It's like, you never regret working out. You never regret it.
Feels so good. Feels so good after you get it done.
It could be the hardest workout ever. You could throw up after the workout. You're never going to regret it. And that sort of realization about just, you're rewarding yourself actually by being disciplined. You're rewarding yourself by just sticking to the plan. Find the plan. What is it? He said, plan the work and then work the plan. This is my guy, Mark Batterson, Win the Day. This book right here. It really talks about, it says 7 daily habits to help you stress less and accomplish more. And it's really all about, planning, man. You got to plan something. You got to write it down, make it plain, and then you got to go after it and go day in, day out and think about, stop looking at, I want to make $100,000. Bro, break it down. How many dollars can you make today? Can you make $100 today? Okay, go try to make $100 today. Then what habits you need to, get behind that, whatever the goal is. It's really looking at things in a day's compartment, because that's truthfully all that matters. The book talks about, stop worrying about dead yesterdays and unborn tomorrows, which I think is just so profound.
Bars.
So simple, so profound. is that we continually, he broke down some stats in the beginning of the book talking about how people 70% of people, like, their time is spent thinking about things that have not happened or haven't happened, that happened already or have not happened. Like, some overwhelming majority of time people spent on Earth is spending thinking about things that already happened or have not happened and probably won't happen. And so it's all about getting your mind into present, getting your mind into what's going on right now, and which, to do that and to be successful in the present, is having a plan and then working into what can you do. So I think the plan has been my biggest thing, to just say, like, look, if I want to be the person that I see myself being, the mogul that I see myself being, dude, you got to get the plan together. And that's me being on myself, just like, look, all right, what we doing? And a lot of things, it was like the Tyler interview, was like, because when I turned 26, that's when things started to, like, really make sense. Really, really make sense. And it's funny that in this year of us being 26, you've had 3 major breakthroughs. And also, don't think the 3 is lost on me. How many years did it take you to get on Billboard? Come on. There's certain things that need to take time and certain signs that are there as well. So, getting the Pitchfork look, the start the year off, getting the Billboard look, getting the Consequence look, Hip Hop DX. Come on, like, I also think a thing too, people check for results too soon. People check for results way too soon. You got to fall in love with the work, man. You got to fall in love with man, I like getting up and getting under that bench press. I like that. I like hitting the tread and getting on these miles, and I love it. And then you're going to look up and say, dang, when did I get a 6-pack? Dang, when did I cut off 35 pounds? And it's about building those daily habits and falling in love with it, because truthfully, at the end of the day, it's like, so when it's all said and done, you got 10 M's in the bank. What you going to do? What you going to do? How you going to spend the time? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to find the love in the things. Everything else is the byproduct. Getting rich is the byproduct, not the mission. That's a word to Ryan Leslie. And so my encouragement to anyone who's listening to this, figuring out, like, what do I do? How do I get to the next step? Is, one, sit down, be honest with yourself, write your plan. Say, what do I want to do? Then reverse engineer. Okay, I want to do X. What are the necessary things? What does X look like? Okay, and then of those, how can I create those things into daily habits? What daily habits can I create to get me to X? Forget putting time on it. And you realize things happen faster when you stop thinking about how, when it's going to happen. Things happen faster when you just put in day in, day out. The boring work, the consistency. It's not going to be fun all the time. It's got to be hitting the mark. And so I'm starting to get into that place of, I'm done romanticizing my goals, and I want to put them on paper and start to just work the plan. And then I want to look up in a year and a half and see, okay, where am I at on this? Oh, all of it's checked off, that sort of thing. And so that's just been where I'm at this year. And I think 2022 is really I'm done talking. I'm just more action. So that's what I got to say.
Summary of that is fall in love with that process. And the process is not going to be beautiful. It's like you said, you can romanticize that goal, but the journey to that goal, it could be ugly. Like, I think of those people who do those like Ironman races where they got to crawl through the mud and all that. But like at the end, you get a nice medal, you get a good pick. It's like, but the journey there is ugly. Like, stuff ain't always the cards aren't always gonna fall in the way that you envision them. Like, you gotta really, really be honest with yourself. I saw this Young Prince. He's a host around New York City, if y'all familiar with him.
Yeah.
He was being real vulnerable about himself. He was like, yo, man, like, I've been making videos for years, and I wasn't getting all these plays and these reshares. Like, I remember I was putting out videos where I was getting 20 likes, but look at my camera quality. Look at just my ability as an entertainer. I wasn't as good then. So a lot of people, like you said, they're focused on the results. They crave that love. They crave the acclaim. They crave all that. But you got to be honest about the product you're putting out and the craft. And if you fall in love with the process, and you're disciplined, but you're also honest with yourself, then you start to realize that, maybe my product isn't the thing that people would want to put their support behind. And that's a really honest realization you got to come to. You got to support yourself until everyone else wants to support you. Nick has this quote, he either tweets it or it's been a caption on his IG photos: focus on you until the focus is on you. And it's just like, it's as simple as that. Like, you can crave all that outside validation, all that outside love, but if you're not focused on doing the thing that'll generate that and multiply it and amplify it, where's it going to come from? Like, yeah, you might have people within your circle who support you just because you're you and they're close to you. They want to see you be great. But are you being great? Are you becoming greater? Are you looking at your weaknesses and areas where you're deficient and making those your strengths? That's so important. The love can't come without there being something to be loved. That's really what it is at the end of the day. And so, you know, I think I've said it before on the podcast. I say to people I'm close to, I'm obsessed with self-improvement, because we are imperfect human beings. The older you get, you realize the less you know. Like 26, you learn a lot, but then you realize, damn, I really don't know shit also. And there's something so freeing about learning that you don't really know much, because what do? If you care, you go and learn more. You challenge yourself more. You take risks. You're willing to take an L, but an L is only an L if you don't learn from it and then do something to improve it. So my advice to all these writers, and again, I'm no expert, you know, I'm no expert. Like, thankfully I've had a lot of W's, and I'm looking to up it in 2022. We'll be doubling up, but you know, my advice is, especially a lot of writers that I'm close to who are younger than me, who are concerned about their place, concerned about landing that job. I've been there. I've been jaded towards the industry. I've hated on people who I should look up to. I've been jealous of people close to me getting opportunities. And that just, you got to get right within. You got to know who you are. You got to know your capabilities. But you got to also put that work in and get to a place where it's like, you don't doubt yourself no more. You're just like, all right, what's next? What's next? Like, I did this, cool, that's great. I feel like I should be doing that. What's next? So that's really all I want to say. I hope you all have had productive 2021s. I hope that you all have wins that you can celebrate, have things that you can look back on and be like, I didn't do that to the best of my ability. And then you up it in 2022. You know, things aren't going to be perfect, especially in these very, very, very trying times that we've been dealing with over the last 2 years. And, you know, things could get ugly in the world again in 2022, but, you know, you are 2 years wiser at this point. What are you going to do with that wisdom that you've gained? Are you going to keep pushing it forward, or are you going to get down on yourself and, you know, question yourself? I think there's really only one choice there that makes sense. Keep upping it. So that's me, man. You got any final words for the people past early?
No, man. I think y'all really, really spent some time looking in yourself this year as we're looking at what we want to do for the next year, and just really give it. Be honest with yourself, but give yourself grace too. And I think when you stop checking for results, you'll find grace and peace in all of those sort of things, because you realize, like, oh, like, it's not about when, it's more about the what. It's more about just doing it day in, day out. And you'll realize the when happens much quicker when you just stop worrying about it. So find that contentment within yourself. Contentment is different than complacency.
Yep.
Totally different.
100%.
Totally different. Contentment is choosing that state of being happy. I'm gonna be happy regardless of the circumstances, right? And trying to achieve that. And complacency is like foot off the gas. You know, and it is what it is. Just accepting the circumstances for what they are when you know you can change them. So really, that's one of my things that I had to learn this year. Is like, there's a difference between contentment and complacency. And you get moved from glory to glory kind of if you focus on being content with where you are and like who you are, and knowing that you're doing your best. You'll have peace then, and then you realize results. Boom, boom, boom. So put in the work, y'all. It's gonna happen. We are a testament of that. This podcast is a testament of that, and we're only just starting.
Dedication, hard work plus patience. Come on, nipple spit.
My sacrifice. I'm done waiting. Come on. So. Yeah, man. That's all I got to say.
Yes, want to wish y'all a happy New Year. Well, by this time Christmas will be gone. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrated. I want to wish you a safe New Year's Eve. If y'all going out, You know,
Please stay
stay inside. You know,
stay inside.
do some calm
I'll see you summer 22, y'all.
Yeah,
I will be out there with my 6-pack, living life. I'll see y'all.
We're gonna have to sacrifice a little bit for a bigger win come summer. That's all, you know. But definitely wish y'all a happy and safe new year. Wishing you prosperity right from the beginning of 2022. It's the boy Armon, vegan chorizo poppy, founder of Ball Nigga Ballers, Mr. Double Up. I'm calling myself Mr. Double Up, leading into 2022. Here with the guy Kombucha King that makes our heart sing. And hindsight is 2020, but we going into 2022. Or 2020, as people are saying, but nah, we not rehashing 2020. No, this is 2022. New year, new us. You feel me? So with that, stay busy, y'all. Stay safe, rather. Stay humble and stay busy.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right. If you miss me, I've been out in the world, staying busy.
Mondays 9 a.m. Mondays 9 a.m. Party with the gang. Every week tell a friend. Busy over everything. Busy boys, gotta call now. Ain't you heard? Got the vibes. They put you on. Got the slides. I'm the size. Running down. No, we hold it down.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right. If you miss me, I've been out in the world, staying busy.